Now, if you look at the province's own expenditures, right, how much of them are they meeting by their own source revenue? It's only about 16%. Now, this is clearly even the test of fiscal self-sufficiency is not being met. Right? Now, what can be done about this? Obviously, we'll talk about that. That's what the whole workshop is organized around. So there's some of the pathways to revenue mobilization are a greater tax effort, of course, especially with UIPT, increasing the C efficiency of sales tax and services. And it's not very clear here, but I've actually, in the my original presentation, I'd used a lighter shade for agriculture income, because personally, I think even though on paper agriculture income, according to the IMF and the World Bank, has a large revenue potential, it's a very hard to collect tax for the provinces, especially given the fragmented nature of our landholding, right? So I'm not sort of really putting that on the table, that it's something that we can, the next 2-3 years, we can really sort of get a lot from. But the other two, we can really milk much more than we are currently.
So it's a similar idea that when you're testing policy interventions, let's try and do it in a systematic manner so that we can tell what was the impact of the intervention and we can learn from the process. I think the important thing is that we learn what was working, what wasn't working, and think of it as a continuous process, that we keep improving, we keep adapting. If we see something is not working, we decide, okay, this wasn't this wasn't very useful in this particular context because of these reasons, and then sort of acting on improving what was not working.
Right. So ideally, it should be with the local governments, but prior to that, we have to build up an enhanced capacity of the local governments, which is not in place. Local governments are highly politicized at present. As Dr. Saab said, provincial authorities don't like local authorities. So tax collection is still with provincial authorities, departments. IT has improved a lot with the Dr. Saab sitting beside. We engaged urban unit 10 years ago.
Forward on this. For Pakistan itself, 4 major building blocks that without which we cannot move forward. Nadra we already have. State Bank of Pakistan we already have. The Security and Exchange Commission has digitized data of everything. And the federal and the provincial revenue boards have that as well. Now, it's all a matter of talking to each other. And if you can talk to each other, believe me, tons of stuff happen. When I go and talk to Nadra, they say, oh, every time you verify something, I'm going to charge you 150 rupees. Come on, guys. This is within the government, right? We're talking about the government of Pakistan, and we're talking about benefiting the citizens of Pakistan. Within the public sector, I feel there should be zero charge. Whatever you want to do with private sector, I don't care. Do it.
But as we've also discussed, in these sessions, is that focusing on taxpayer trust is also incredibly important. Building taxpayer trust is, it's a complex process and lots of things that have to be taken into consideration. Also, another takeaway is the role of tech. Tech definitely, especially when combined with rigorous monitoring and evaluation, and also feedback. So, like, we give feedback to our collectors as well, and our teams as well when they were collecting data, right? So in real time, we were processing it, and we were like, all right, ye aap theek nahi kare, isko yahan fix kare, ya ye nahi kare, wo nahi kare. So it was a really robust process. Also, what is great about social compact is that, you're not in the traditional sense or an official sense of a financial cost, wo nahi hai. Matlab, you're just taking existing tax revenue and you're allocating a percentage of that to service delivery. And the last thing I just want to emphasize is, of course, this wouldn't have been possible without the continuing year-on-year cooperation of the Punjab Excise and Taxation Department, as well as the local government department, as well as urban unit. Dr. Omar Masood and I have an interface directly, but he's a huge reason that social compact analysis is even, and social compact, there were lots of components that were facilitated because of his approval and because of his help. And I also know that not only because of my own experience, but because a lot of internal meetings that we have with our PIs, in which Dr. Amir Masood is often lauded. So would be great to have more figures, of course, like him. But yes, that's about it. And thank you.